Aging is a normal physiological phenomenon that is part of our growth and development as human beings. In the process of growing old, there are changes that occur in the physiological, psychological, emotional, and social spheres. With this comes the role of the family. In the Philippines, being a Catholic country, most families take responsibility for the care of the frail elderly relatives. The substantial level of financial, physical, social, and emotional stress absorbed by the relatives who have committed substantial time and energy to caring for elderly members is no easy task. Some families may take the challenge in taking care of their elderly members, and some may not. Today, we will show the stories of those elderly people neglected and abandoned by the families, and the ethical dilemmas associated with the strained conditions in elder care. I'm Mark Francisco, and this is Frontline. True life, true stories. The family is still the primary care unit for older persons. In our country, the aged are the responsibility of the extended family. The 1986 Philippine Constitution provides that the family has the duty to care for its elderly members. According to the 2000 census, there were 4,557,134 people aged 60 years old and over in the Philippines. Of the total population, 45.9% were male and 54.1% were female. Those studies show that 75% of Filipino aged populace belong to a household unit, where most of their needs are met by family and peers in the community. A small percentage of 2.6% of Filipino older persons live alone, most of them abandoned by their relatives, and some are living in foster homes and worst, in the streets of Metro Manila. Caring for the elders poses changes and challenges for the family. One must be physically, emotionally, and financially prepared in taking care of the elders. Older people may experience impairment in activities of daily living. Adapting to functional limitations is a crucial issue in maintaining independence, and is perhaps the hardest to adjust in taking care of older people. Urbanization, migration, and increasing economic problems pose a threat to traditional family values and to the present kind of family support system. The increasing numbers of elders in foster homes is alarming. In most cases, those who are abandoned by their families end up in foster homes. These foster homes serve as the new home for them. In the Philippines, there are a limited number of foster homes that caters to abandoned elders, most of which are funded by non-government institutions. In the city of Lipa, Batangas, the Missionary Sisters of the Catechism provide shelter for the sick, abandoned, and neglected elders. Most of the elders here are cases of abandonment. Some of the residents in the institution were found roaming in the streets of Lipa and were brought in by Good Samaritans. Lola Elijah, the eldest resident, was abandoned by her nephew after selling her properties. She was forced to live on the streets and asked for food until she was found by a certain Miss Calderon, who took her and let her sleep on her house. When Miss Calderon can no longer take care of her, she was brought here in the institution. Lola Elijah was diagnosed with early signs of dementia, but despite this, she still has a good memory of her past.
Nang ako'y pumalito, nang ako'y daring dito, ako'y nasa aking bahay. Nasa aking bahay. Ako'y marundong manukan. Mga halaman. Ayan. Bago ko dinalam pa rito. Doon ako, may bahay kami sa dalawang aming bahay. Ang bahay ng kapatid ko, patay na. Saka yung aking, ay, dinala ako dito sa akin, nag-iisa. Sa school, doon ako natira. Doon ako natulog. Pero ang aking pagkain ako, gandya ka ng mga hayop.
When asked about her relatives, Lola Elijah could no longer remember them. Sister Maria had to remind her she still has living relatives.
Ay, ilan po daw kayo magkakapatid? Ilan po daw kayo magkakapatid?
Wala akong kapatid.
Wala. Pero noon, buhay pa sila.
Wala, alon.
No, noon, buhay pa sila. Ilan ba kayo? Ngayon, kayo laman. Pero noon, nandiyan naman mga kapatid ninyo. Ilan ba sila?
Wala ako.
Si Rosita. Sino pa?
Lola Elijah might not have a vivid memory of her relatives. Maybe because it's been a decade since she last saw them. But if there's one person whom she considers a family, it's Mrs. Calderon, the only person who took care of her and gave her shelter when everybody else deserted her.
Eh, ang pinakakapatid ko si Mrs. Calderon lang ang siyang nagkukuha sa akin eh. Si Mrs. Calderon, pagkahapon, pupunta ako sa school. Dahil sa school ako natulog.
Doon kayo nagtulo.
Sa school ako natulog.
Masaya kayo doon sa school?
Sa school ako natulog.
Masaya po kayo doon? Hmm?
Pag-araw naman nagtatrabaho ka. Nagluluto,
Kaya noon,
naglalaba.
Nanay, ilan ba mga pamangkin ninyo?
Wala akong pamangkin.
Yun nasa Amerika, yun nasa Italy.
Sino?
Sa Germany, yun saan ba?
Sino pamangkin ko? Wala akong alam. Pamangkin.
Di ninyo naalala? Di ninyo naalala yung pumunta dito, anak ni Rosita?
Eh, wala akong pamangkin eh.
Okay.
Isa lang pamangkin nyo?
Wala.
Patay na?
Patay na.
Sino? Anong pangalan?
Patay.
Anong pangalan niya?
Ang pangalan Sergeant na Bulagay pa, Bulanyo.
Bolanyo.
Sergeant ay Abiado yun. Ay kasi ang anga ng Mandela sira.
The life of Lola Elijah is just one of the heartbreaking stories among the elders in the institution. It's saddening to know that her relatives don't even have time to visit her. This gap is filled by the love and care that the sisters in the institution is giving her.
The morning when I get up with the cross I join myself.
The reality is that some families will leave their elder members despite the fact that they are capable of taking care of them, both financially and physically.
I have one experience. There is a lady from the next barrio who she brought her mother here. She wants to leave their mother here because the mother has Alzheimer's and she just go away. So she was thinking that if the mother will be here, she is better because the house is closed and the mother will not go away. So I told her, yes, it's true, but it's also true that you are many in your family and you can really take care. So you talk with the rest of the family, your brothers, sisters, your children, all the apples of the Lola, everybody are willing to leave the Lola here because I will not accept her like that. because you are so many.
The story of Lola Incar is different from that of Lola Elijah. She was brought in the institution by her former employee after her son died of illness.
Nakapunta ako dito dahil sa akin anak. Nga, kundi kinuha na ako niya sa bus ko noon. Yung bus ko sa Magallanes, mga milensyo yun. 17 years ako diyan nagatrabaho eh. Ang trabaho ko kung saan nila ako utusan. Hindi naman ako nagatrabaho sa loob ng bahay, kundi sa umaga, magwalis lang ako hanggang malapit sa simbahan. Sila. Ngayon, nung nagkasakit ako, tinawag na siya tawag sa cellphone ang boss ko. Sabi niya sa anak kong si Ben, kaysa Nichols man lang eh. Sabi niya, Ben, dali natin si nanay mo sa ospital. Bakit? May nagsusuka. Sabi niya, oo, na darating ako. Pagdating sa bahay, mga alas 8 na, umaga, pumunta kami sa Makati, ako dinala. Makati Medical. Ngayon, pag uwi na, kinausap ng kuwan ko, anak ko, si ma'am. Sabi niya, ma'am, kung papayag ka, si nanay, pahinga ko na, mapahinga na ako, mapahuway. Pahinga na nga, mauntat na ako sa trabaho. Sa bahay na lang ako nila. Ang nangyari, nagkasakit, dinala sa ospital sa Iloilo, sa kay Dr. Karam daw. Kinuha ng biyanan niya. Kay espesyalista daw doon. Pero sa Nichols siya, nagkakali yan eh. Amo niya hapon. Kundi dinala. Hindi, walang swerte. Namatay doon sa Iloilo.
Yung anak,
sa bahay
yung bata.
ng ikabiyanan. Oo. Doon na nga, dito ako dinala.
Binibisita pa po kayo?
Tinanggap nila ako sa mabuting paraan talaga. Oh.
Lola Incar's strong will kept her spirits high. Despite the fact that most of her relatives are still alive and some are living in the province of Batangas, she never complains if she rarely gets visited.
Ang anak ko yan nga isa, dumadalaw dito.
Dumadalaw po dito.
Magdalaw sila nung dalhin nila sa akin. Nahiya naman yan sila pumunta dito. Oh.
Pero alam
Walang kaso. Kung ako may pira, kung papayag, makapunta ako. Wala ako. Kuwan nga hindi sila pumunta dito kahit alam ko naman. Ano man lang ng sidecar man. Minsan wala pa bigas. Sus Marisep. Lula, wala pa kami bigas. Alas 10 na. Wala pang kita ang sidecar. Naku, sus Marisep. Ipamasahe nila dito ngayon ang mahal ang pamasahe.
Pero kung gugustuhin niyo
Pili
po,
na lang nila ng bigas. Basta alam nila nandito na ako.
Knowing the situation of her family, she accepted the fact that she is better off living in the institution rather than be a burden to them. When asked if she wants to be with her family, she answered,
Anong pamilya mo? Mag-ano ako sa pamilya kung wala man? Hindi nagpinitensya ako. Dito sustinido ako ng akin boss. Kahit nandito ako, siya lahat yan. Ay ano pa ang akin hingiun? Kung doon ako, mag-sustiner ba yung amo boss ko? Kung doon ako sa pamilya ko, hindi. Pero dito, siya ang gabigay sa akin. Tuwing Pasko, nandito yan. Gabigay sa akin. Pag may okasyon dito pumupunta yan. Ganyan.
aside from the family, the community, including the government, also has the responsibility to the elders. But sad to say, the government lacks initiative in doing this.
The government, the DSWD, sent two. I was expecting that at least they will come to visit them to check if they are really take care well or what is their needs. So at least I will have some help. Now, any help from them, and the Lolas never receive also visit from them. So whatever, that will take very long time, and the agents sometimes they really need on the time, that the moment. So it's easier for me to bring them in the hospital and to buy the medicines with the help of other people than to wait for the government, because it will take very long time, pasa, And my Lola will pass away, I don't want.
It is not surprising that virtually all religions espouse filial obligation in one form or another. The Catholic community is clear about the moral importance of filial duty, rooted in the teachings of the heart of their common theological ethical heritage. The fifth commandment in the Decalogue is explicit. Honor thy father and thy mother, that your days may be long. Nonetheless, the extent to which the elderly are respected and cared for is likely to vary somewhat by culture, as cultural differences have a significant effect on the ways old people are treated.
They have really to continue their way of living to take care of their own elderly in their own homes. It is possible. If they really cannot do that, okay, we will help. But as long as they can take care of them in their houses, is better. Because the youth will grow up knowing that there is a Lola, and the Lola will enjoy the love and care of the Apo, everybody in the family, because it's very much different. No matter how we overflow of them, our love to them, that will never substitute the love of the family.
The concept of filial piety thus addresses a vital issue today. Old people are vulnerable to the vicissitudes of moral consciousness. In civilized societies, however, they must be rooted in the moral domain. We must not abandon the very old just because they no longer efficiently contribute to the society.
When I was a small girl, and you are a small boy too, I never know me, and I never know you. When I grow together, I happen to meet you. Happiness in my heart, I fell in love with you. When I know that before, when you are my fortune, I divided my heart into three divisions, one for my remembrance, and one for my relation, and one for my sweetheart, and so forth.